So we here. We are here now. We are here. Rejoice. So we are here to talk about two unrelated topics that I am about to relate together. Relate together. And the topic is, how is social media affecting relationships? Okay. How is social media affecting relationships, and why are women single? Now, I know for some people they're about to say, wait, these are two different topics. Even my co-hosts have said, these are two unrelated topics.
They are two different topics.
In your opinion. But
shit don't go together, fam.
If you really look at today's time now, a lot of the reasons why women are single actually kind of plays into what's going on social media. The exposure that they get from other women's opinion on how they should act, how they shouldn't, on how their man should be or how he shouldn't. These are things that do play a part outside of just a woman's personality itself and how she conducts herself with her man. But before we go any further, I would like to introduce my co-host. So we got my man Inyatu Marvel over here.
In the building. Happy Saturday night, everybody.
I got my man James Q.
What up, people?
And I got my man Corey over here, who's also the proprietor of Echo Rhythm Radio/TV. And just by the way, if you want something good to watch on Fridays, catch my man DJ Taco Supreme on Fridays live from Lakeshore Drive. But now that we done got some business out of the way, let's get into this discussion. So let's start off. We're gonna give color the privilege of going first. So Inyatu, my light skinned brother, we're gonna start with you.
Before the show started, they giving the light skinned brothers a hard time, which if anybody that know me know I don't go for that. But we talking about how social media is affecting relationships, and I think it's multidimensional. I think one of the biggest ways is exactly what B. Shine said, is that so many opinions are being thrown out on social media, and you're seeing memes and you're seeing posts, and you start to feel like you can relate to it. And so social media is influencing how people view relationships, what they think they're entitled to and or deserve in relationships, and what they think they should be doing in relationships. And I think another way that it's affecting relationships is there's much more access to other people and much more access to you. And so there was a time where a woman, if she didn't like somebody at her job or at her church, some of the places she goes, that was all the men she was exposed to. Where now, with social media, all of us are exposed to thousands and thousands of people. A lot of people have 5,000 people on their friends list. And when you got 5,000 options out here, sometimes it makes it hard to make good decisions, or it makes it hard to resist the temptation of straying. And so I definitely believe that you have to be strong for social media not to possibly adversely affect your romantic relationship.
Okay, I can feel that point. James, what are your thoughts?
I'm actually going to piggyback off that previous comment. Is social media makes it a little bit less individual. People are relating together, are carrying a lot of the same thoughts via memes and these basic conversations, and they rolling together on everything to feel like women are supposed to behave one way, men are supposed to behave one way, and once you behave a certain way, or if you don't behave a certain way, then now you're being judged and you're going to be viewed positively or negatively based on how you do things. So people are losing their individuality, and they're losing a lot of the cultural norms that help them become wives and girlfriends and progress in life. So now, in my opinion, you got a lot of the blind leading the blind. People who are the same age, who don't have the experience, who don't have the knowledge, that they leading each other based on thoughts. So social media is definitely has a purely negative effect. You have to have a strong mind in order to be able to move past it.
Corey, Taco Meat. What do you AKA DJ? What's your thoughts, brother?
How does social media affect relationships?
Yeah.
in a negative way, I believe what it does is it brings outsiders, like Inyatu was speaking about. It brings outsiders in your relationship. What wind up happening is you have a certain criteria or a image that you have to always live up to because people are watching, at all the times. I think the negative part of why social media why social media is negative on a relationship is because if you pay attention to social media itself, it's like this perfect perception of us. You take your best picture, you make your best post, and what wind up happening is there's no error on social media in terms of how we're perceived and how we look at ourselves. So it can almost be a facade where you're keeping up with the way that people perceive you, and that's not the case. The temperament or the how it goes is that we put our best foot forward on social media. So I've personally seen people in relationships that they weren't happy, but because there were so many eyes watching, they had to keep up that facade because of the crowd that was watching. So it just brings everyone into your business, like your grandmother, granddad used to say. And that can be a bad thing if you're in the midst of having issues, having to do adjustments to your relationships, and you really can't because everybody's watching. I think it's a negative thing in that sense. And positive, you get to share your boo online.
Great.
Get a lot of likes.
That and a bus pass will get you on the bus.
Exactly.
I don't know. There's no money in that.
Well, I guess it's B-Shine's turn. Actually, I think my view is a little bit different than the rest of y'all. I see the only thing to me negative about social media is it's up to the person that's in it. I don't think like Facebook ruins relationships. The motherfuckers in it ruins relationships. I don't think that if Facebook didn't exist and you was with some dumb nigga that was finna cheat, he could find bitches to cheat with. If this is the type of chick that's gonna tell y'all business to whoever the fuck will listen, she'll tell it to your friends, your family, her co-workers. A motherfucker that talk too much. Doesn't matter the outlet. Now, I do agree that, social media now allows you to get to more people with your bullshit, but that's your fault. No, there's nothing I hate more, and it's always women that do this shit. I swear to God. They will put some personal business out there, and then you say something, and then they'll get mad like, oh, I don't want you to respond to it. The fuck did you just make the post for?
I got blocked last week for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like they make a post and then try to get mad for that shit.
Ridiculous.
And it's like that's part of, to me, like the negative aspect of relationships with social media. But that also pertains into why women are single. Is also, again, not saying us niggas don't put relationship stuff on Facebook. I see more. I don't have the statistics. I know somebody gonna like, well, what's the statistics on that?
What's the statistics?
But I guarantee you, for everybody that's watching, more women tend to get on Facebook when they're mad. And they're mad at the nigga. They get on there. They'll say something they shouldn't say. Then, when the relationship is better, now you back to taking, this is my boo, but now you want to block people, be mad when we've seen what you just said about this little dick nigga, and now you back with him. It makes you look like a fucking dumbass.
But you know what? It goes back to, that perfect perception that you have online, on social media. And when you get to that point, you can't make a mistake. You have to make sure that you're keeping up with all these things that you said, and him coming by and buying fucking flowers on Valentine's Day and everything like that. And when he falls short, you can't express how openly you were when things are going great. So I think that in itself not only causes turmoil, but it creates this bitterness because you feel trapped. Now you can't get away.
But that can also be a positive, though, Corey. Is that you have that pressure that's keeping you in that box that's going to make you continue to perform.
Not if you're not, it gets to a point where a relationship isn't definite. And I think that's the difference. I'm gonna get to say my show.
I mean, hey, man, don't worry. Hey,
I was gonna let you finish your thought, and then I was gonna gangster the mic. I was gonna show y'all the dark skin.
We gonna
but
share
I want to
authority.
address what B. Shine said, because what we have to really understand is that people are impressionable. That all of these companies depend on it. The reason why a company will pay for 30 commercials a day, because they know a certain percentage of the population, if they see it over and over again, they can't resist it. And now what's happening on social media is people seeing the same meme over and over and over again. For the last 2 weeks, the biggest and most shared relationship question on social media is the meme that says, if you and your man split, sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody.
You know, we had some light skin problems. We at the end of that.
The engineer is light skinned and therefore not qualified. We belong in front of the camera, not behind the camera. It's light skinned.
We back live. Get back to your.
But no, we back live. So the point is that it's marketing. That companies pay millions and billions of dollars for commercials to play over and over again because they know that a certain percentage of the population is impressionable. That if you see things over and over again, you will be affected by them. And so the same thing happens on social media. So what I was talking about is one of the most popular debates on Facebook in the last 2 weeks is there's the meme out here that's telling women that if they're splitting the bills 50-50 in their household, they don't have a man, they have a roommate. And so unfortunately, there are some women out here who were perfectly happy in their relationships, paying 50-50, and I was working just fine. And now, because it appears that that is socially unacceptable and that other women will deem her to be dumb or being taken advantage of, may be trying to change the rules in her relationship and change the rules in her household, or no longer feeling happy about it just because of all those exposures. And so it's easy to say that, you know, people should not be, if they have a strong relationship, that they won't be affected at all. But pop culture dictates what's socially acceptable in this world. And it takes a unique person. There are plenty of unique people, but it takes a unique person to be able to just do whatever they want to do and not care about what society thinks about it. And so that is one of the biggest dangers of your relationships.
I think one of the biggest things about what you just said is not so much of what her behavior is based on that particular meme or that particular thought process, but that her man is less of a man because he's not doing certain things. And right now I'm seeing that as men, we are at a complete disadvantage. You know, we have a whole list of shit of what we supposed to do, but they not. You know, a man is supposed to handle certain things, and I'm completely into gender roles.
Right.
However, there's no list or there's no time frame on what women are supposed to do. And so I think right now with everything that's going on, we gonna play in the social media and the why women are single. For me, it's that it's a lot of women that don't do shit. They want everything, but they want the shit for free. They want everything, but they don't want to do nothing. If you ask a woman when you first meet her, how long is it gonna take before she wash your clothes, cook you a motherfucking meal, or do anything for you, she gonna tell you it's gonna be after you do whatever you do. So as a man, you gotta open your hand, you gotta put your cards on the table face up, while she get to hold hers to her chest and get the weight to do whatever she choose to do. I ain't going,
That's
bro.
potent what you said. I think it fits with this show, but that is a topic all within itself that we can get into.
But honestly,
the double standard.
but it's not even a double standard. It's just the way that things are going right now. Honestly, women are very selfish right now. And that's part of the reason why they're single.
Entitled.
Yes, they're very entitled. They feel, and it's just like he said. And we have to go into a relationship showing that we have husband mentality and potential, but they don't have to show wife mentalities or potential to after we put a ring on them. And it's just like, I think James said that. It was either James or my friend Derek. What they actually said was, you can't get to the playoffs and get that ring if you don't play during the season. You're not playing during the season, but you think you're finna get to the playoff game and then win the championship and get a ring? A lot of these females, a lot of these women, a lot of these bitches and these hoes, they are fucking confused on how life is. They're suffering from this Prince Charming syndrome that we as parents teach our kids while we let them watch these fantasy movies, cartoons. We read them these stories about the knight coming to save the princess from the dragon. But in those stories, you notice that the princess, she was just the fairest in the land. You know what I'm saying? And then for the most part, they never really went too hard into how good she
got
was.
everything because
As
she's
it-
pretty and she
yeah.
got a hole between
Now,
her legs.
sometimes, you know, they'll say, oh, she was nice. You know, the animals, all the cartoon birds and shit, love the fuck out of her. But, you know, these chicks today, the reason why they single and they'll say they want to be single, and I agree with them, they do want to be single, is because they don't want to do the shit to keep a man. So if you're not going to do the shit that you need to do to keep a man, you goddamn right you do want to be single.
I think it ties more. I don't think it's. I think what women are, they're into image. They're into just the way things look. So they're quicker to show themselves on social media because it's a look. You know, they can show that they have their man. They can show that they have that support. I don't think it's like methodical in terms of. Well, you can be held responsible if, like you said, you're not doing your way to work. If you're not playing your part. And you just going into it for the cosmetic look, like I got a man, and you know you're not doing the things at home to keep a man. But I think what they're more so interested in, I'm just playing devil's advocate, is the fact that they're more so into just the look. They're more so into just showing that they have a man, and that's good enough for
Yeah,
some.
and you're exactly right. It's just like having a nice fucking car, but you don't take care of it. How long? If you don't change the fucking oil in your motor, you can have a BMW. How long is that nice looking car gonna ride though? And if that's how you treat your relationship, it's gonna start off nice and pretty. It takes maintenance. And right now, women, from what I see, and as much as they be like, y'all, I don't know what women you know, but I look at all y'all statuses. That's the reason why I talk as much shit as I do. I look at what women say. I do talk to women. I do talk to hoes. I definitely talk to bitches on a regular day. And I'm trying to learn your mentality because for me and men like me, y'all are some weird thinking motherfuckers. I just don't understand how you feel like you're just entitled to a good man. You're entitled to somebody loving and cherishing you and doing all of these things. But then when a man asks you, well, when will you do this and when will you do that? It's either fuck that nigga or on your time, your terms. Everything is always what she wants. And then she wonders why she's single. You're not qualified to have a man. You qualified to have a simp ass nigga. It's a lot of simp ass niggas out here. They always on the stats. They kissing ass, licking pussy, hoping to get acknowledged. If you want a simp ass nigga, by all means, continue to do what you want and the way that you're doing it. But if you want a man, at some point, when do you as a woman start seeing the way you approach relationships obviously isn't working? And when will you have some self-accountability instead of just saying it's always a nigga's fault? Niggas ain't shit.
So, unfortunately, the situation has changed. So you talking about men and you talking about women. So the identity of a man and of a woman has greatly changed. It's extremely skewed right now. So you got women out here whose thought and their view and their opinion of it as a woman is about strength, where traditionally that's the position of a man. So right now, today in 2018, the man is the follower. So these women can't lead and then expect to find a man. We're gonna call a man who's also a leader. We both can't lead together. Somebody got to step behind.
But I don't know if it's even so much as if that's the time today or if it's just no cameras. Cause we
Facts.
roll
with that.
We've lived in that era, and I don't know how many brothers at this table grew up in single parent households, grew up with a single mother, and it's I think like right now the change is that men want as much attention as these women do. Like I see we sticking to social media. When I see a brother that's got three pictures in his one profile picture, I'm like, how much attention do you want, motherfucker? Like, that's some shit that a 16-year-old, cheerleader would do in terms of just trying to, present herself, just over-present herself. And I think, going to what you're saying, yeah, a lot of women, a lot of men want that same attention that these women got.
Yeah.
No, those are just simps, so we're not even talking about them. I mean, fuck them. We talking about men right now. Fuck what these simps is doing. I'm a firm believer in fuck these simps. They can kiss my ass. I can't stand them. They part of the reason why these women are single because these fucking pussy pandering son of a bitches are fucking these women's heads up. They giving them overinflated egos, and then going back into the social media part. That's another reason why women are single, is because social media is overinflating their sense of worth. I'm sorry, some of you women are worth some things, but some of you are not worth some of the things that you think you are. And that's not me trying to be mean or sexist. It's just the truth. I'm sorry. Every woman is different. Every female is different. If you live your life a certain way, you may not get the type of man that a woman lives her life a different way will get.
Well, I'm gonna blow the lid off this thing. I'm gonna break it down.
Oh yeah, we was waiting on this.
I'm gonna break it down.
We was waiting on this.
Y'all really need to pay attention right now, because I'm gonna break it down so it can forever be broke. Why are black women single? And the answer is the church. Because the biggest demographic of tithers are single black women. That there are some large church organizations who have a course to teach pastors to preach from certain areas of the Bible to make black women basically remain single. So where does a lot of that entitlement come from? What are a lot of the quotes that women are saying about what men are supposed to do come from? It comes from the church. You're supposed to be a provider. You're supposed to do this. A man who finds a wife find a good thing, not a man who finds a hoe or a bitch, as B-Shine would say, find a good thing.
So wait a minute. If these are positive reinforcements and saying what a man should be, and just, I guess, reinforcing that a man should be the leader and not the tail, and other things like that.
We know that because they know more about what a man's supposed to be than what they're supposed to be. Quote what you're supposed to be. That's how you're going to track what you're supposed to get. Yeah, you know more about being a man than you know about being a woman. I met a woman a year ago, and I was talking to her. She had a mentorship program, and she was teaching young women what to tolerate and not tolerate and what to expect on a date, right? From a man, how he's supposed to treat you, open the doors, these things of this nature, so they could be a lady. And I said, man, that's great. That's beautiful. What things do you teach them about reciprocation? She got off the phone with me. I ain't talked to her since. You know what I mean? Because I was like, it's one-sided, and then we wonder why. Because unfortunately, there are a lot of men who hate women. Let's just keep it real right here. There are a lot of men, just like there are a lot of women who hate men. There are a lot of men who hate women, who are just looking for an opportunity to knock a woman off of a pedestal or hurt a woman. Where does a lot of that resentment come from? It comes from, you know what I'm saying, being taken advantage of. It comes from that sense of entitlement.
We have to take a quick break.
Uh-oh.
Is your page private?
Yeah, I just did that.
Camera. A dragon came in here and tore this place the fuck up. But while the light-skinned guys was in the corner, me and James, we killed that motherfucker because that's what us dark-skinned dudes do. And we back. When you see the whole edited show, you'll see the parts of the show that when we were broadcasting that you couldn't see. What we're going to do now is, okay, we said a lot about social media. I think it's just time that we just get to the gist, to the grits, to the soup and potatoes. Why are these women? Why are these hoes? Why are these bitches? And again, for those of you who are just tuning in and have never seen a B-Shine post, the reason why I said it the way that I said it is because I like to make distinctions between women, bitches, and hoes. They are different aspects of females. So that's the reason why I am incorporating all three of you together, because a lot of women are single, a lot of hoes are single, and definitely a lot of these bitches are single. And I want to go into why all three of y'all are single.
Almost all.
Actually, that's what we're going to talk about, and I want every man to incorporate that. When you say why a woman single, I want you to say why the women single, why these hoes single, and why these bitches single. If you don't know what a bitch is, I can tell you. I give you the definition, then we can go forward from that. Because a bitch ain't nothing more than a woman who has some hoe tendencies, but not a hoe, but has a very fucked up personality and a very selfish mentality. And that's the reason why most chicks you talk to be like, yeah, I don't see no hoe qualities really in her, but damn, she is such a bitch. So, and y'all two, let's start it off with you again. So why are these women, these hoes, and these bitches single?
So I said it stems from
It
stems from outside influence, and the number one influence on society. One of the number one influence on society is religion, and so we are a mainly Christian society, especially in the black community, and fortunately and or unfortunately, depending on what side of the fence you're sitting on, single black women are the biggest tithers. And why are they throwing all that money at the church? Because they want a husband. They want their prayers to be answered. They want to be dutiful to God, and they spend that money. And unfortunately, they're being preached to in some cases things that will keep them single, trying to set a standard super high for a man and no expectation on the woman. That's never going to work. So if you I'm not doing nothing, but then you can name 100 things that a man is supposed to do to make you move. Very rarely are you going to find yourself in a relationship when that's your approach to it. And I understand and overstand and understand that sometimes religion is a business, and if that's the number one tithers, and any church is having money problems and wants to generate more money, then they are going to go to those passages of the Bible that they believe will make women feel that sense of entitlement. And this has just been regurgitated and projected all through social media, all out here in real life, to where now, it's a big part of the culture. It's a heavy, heavy, heavy sense of entitlement, and also a movement towards emasculation of men. I pass the mic on that note.
James, what do you think? You want to start off with why bitches is single, these hoes, just women? You want to say just females in general?
All these motherfuckers. Most of these motherfuckers are single pretty much for the same reasons. They don't know their place. And for the most part, a woman's place is next to, beside, or behind a man. They don't know how to move or guide a man. They don't want to know how to move, guide a man. They've gotten to a point where they so damn strong where they think they can actually lead a man. Well, you can't expect a real man to want to tote behind you or stand next to you. He gonna be in front.
Now, I don't even want to cut you off, but it's a good point that I like. Now, on that, I'm going to do a Corey on that, and I'm going to play devil's advocate. Now, with that, do you kind of see that as an issue for some men that has made women into this type of having to be strong? You think some of these, again, we go into, to me, when I say simps, and also some genuinely good men I have seen, they put their masculinity on the back burner to try to satisfy a woman's ego, to let her kind of run shit, to keep things smooth. And honestly, I see that in a lot of aspects of just everyday life with men, because we do that. Just like, with me, I get a lot of gripe from a lot of guys because they have this philosophy, oh, you should never argue with a woman. And it's like, that shit has never made much sense to me. And I don't like that, but this is just one of those times of, men trying to, again, appease women. And it's in a man's nature to appease his woman. But I feel like, do you feel like we're getting to an age of where men are going too far with appeasing women, and with unemployment rates, men aren't the head of the household like we used to be? So do you think, overall with the statement you made, could we be also playing a part into why women are acting like that?
Number one, it actually works two ways. So we're definitely playing a part into it. However, I truly feel, we was having a private conversation a little earlier, I truly feel that men move according to what women require. So if a woman requires that man to be strong, and that man to lead her, and that man to stand in front so that he can take all the bullshit and they can continue to move as a unit and as a family, then he's gonna do that. But a lot of these women not doing that. They are teaching themselves, and they're teaching these men that woman can stand in front and she's gonna absorb all the bullshit. But we're learning that emotionally and physically that they cannot handle it. Mentally, they truly cannot handle it. So now they are changing themselves mentally and emotionally to where they're not the woman. They cannot maintain that same role as the guider, as the navigator. They cannot maintain that if they also gonna be the driver. So some motherfuckers guide, some motherfuckers drive. And these women don't know how to do both. And that's really the whole thing, is you either gonna guide or you gonna drive. And these women, they not, in my opinion, they're not really prepared to drive. This world throwing a whole lot at them. You gotta have the strength of a man and the mentality of a man in order to step forward. and be able to handle those things, and that woman can stand behind him and put her hand in his back and say, baby, we going this way. And he gonna go that way because they going this way. Corey, that's just a lot.
I want to throw something out there to y'all because I can't even see the comments, but I would imagine that there are women all over the world right now saying, we single because men aren't men anymore. So what would you guys say to that? That a lot of women say that the reason why they're single is because they refuse to settle. And that the men out here, is slim pickings for a good man out here. That men have been effeminated, that men don't understand their role or don't embrace their roles anymore and want to be taken care of and all of these type of things, and that is the reason why they're single. So what would you say to that, B-Shine?
I would tell him that that's bullshit. I would tell him that it's your. Well, he, I mean,
it was actually your man Corey.
Yeah, I was finna go for, but he asked the question and I was finna address. Okay,
that's because he was all out of order.
Yeah, I mean, I'm out of order. So,
You're out of order this whole goddamn court.
We're all out of order.
But no, I did want to make a point on what James was saying and kind of expand that. I think that I'm gonna go back old school tradition. I believe that the man is the head, the leader, the head, not the tail. That's what my pastor used to say. And when I think it really ties into the mentality of man today, whereas to if we don't have a lot of leaders, then we got even weaker followers. When you got a woman who is expecting a man to lead in a relationship, and I'm not putting it all on the man. I'm not saying that that the issue is all on the man, but when you have a woman that's expecting a man to lead and he falls short, it just continuously adds to her psyche that maybe men are no good. It's to a point where, and I don't want to get too political, but there is an intentional divide between the black man and woman in terms of just economics. For a woman to receive welfare benefits, the man has to not be in the house. Right. So it's almost a design to where they want to divide that family household, but when a woman looks to a man for a leader, and we're so quick to leave the relationship just because it doesn't work out, because we feel a different certain kind of way. How much faith does the woman have in men? Who can she lead? Who can she get leadership from if we're so quick to go away? I'm not. Once again, that's not what I'm saying. Why women are single, but I do think that there's a major factor in if I go on a job site and I see a whole bunch of workers, not doing their job, I'm not going to look at the workers. I'm going to look at the supervisor. I'm going to try to see what's the supervisor role and why he's not attending to the workers and making sure that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Me personally, I've gone through so many relationships where I know in retrospect where I went wrong. It was because I failed as a leader. I failed to do the things necessary to maintain the relationship. I can say that turning 40 years old that I haven't given my all in a lot of past relationships, so it's not fair to the woman to put the blame completely on the woman. I don't think that women being single is all on a woman. I think that a lot of it has to do with failed leadership from men. Now, you just have some females out here who antisocial, or they sociopaths, or whatever. Like they just don't like. They like sabotage relationships subliminally. It doesn't work for them. They carry baggage from past relationships and they bring it to their current relationship. Those are factors as well, but men have a responsibility to lead that situation, and when we give up, and I'll be even specific when I'll say black men have a responsibility to lead that situation, and if we don't, then it's not going to pan out in the way that we want it to.
I'm gonna break in a little bit on that. I'm a big fan of nature, and so when I watch nature and I do my best to study as much about nature as I can, is that the strong protect the weak. Okay, and the reality is right now our women aren't weak.
They're not weak.
They're not weak, and they refuse to even give the facade that they're weak.
But women, real quick, that in nature, from any species, the female is automatically they're automatically attracted to security. Not so. I mean, it translates.
Yeah,
it
100% right.
It
I agree.
It translates to, you know, like, okay, and you know, I hear Brian talk about how, you know, some women want a nigga with a car, but it's not so much as the car that she's attracted to. It's more so of the fact that this guy
His
did
ability to attain the car.
attain the car. So it's that security feature, so to speak, that she's attracted to. And if you know, my fault. Go ahead.
So my biggest point in that is that we protect the weak. So if a woman is not weak, then a man really has no need to step up. You know, how can I protect somebody? I'm not gonna protect this man. This man is just as strong as I am. So you have women out here who are given a perception, both verbally, physically, mentally, and damn sure financially, that they can stand next to you neck and neck, if not in front of you. So how can I step up? What reason do I have to step up in front of some motherfucker who clearly shows that she has everything better than me, that she's better than me? So nature says, we gonna go to Corey's point about the man with the car. So nature says women by nature procreate with the biggest, the strongest, because that's gonna ensure that her children are gonna be strong. So what are we looking at when we looking at these strong women? It's a real different kind of situation. Like, our nature is fucked up. So when you talk about the system, and I'm really not a system kind of person. When you talk about the system, where the system has taken and made these women stronger, they have upset the balance. So now the man is weaker.
But is the man weaker because he fails to take the responsibility of taking the reins when things get harder, or is the man weaker because the women are trying to take that gender role and trying to be strong?
Or is they weaker because the woman is who taught him how to be a man?
No, the man is weaker because the woman got a boost. Because in order for that family to get help, that man had to get kicked out of the house and had to fend for himself. And now the government or whomever else was gonna help that woman take a step up.
So now you're talking about
she
this
got a
systematic design.
Right. It turns into a systematic design.
Now I get what everybody's saying, but I want to get to the gist of this shit, because it's pretty much we still undercutting a woman's self-accountability. I mean, pretty much everything I'm hearing right now is excuse after excuse. I want to go back to even what you said.
But you want to attack women.
It's not an attack. No, it's not an attack. It's not an attack. Because even what you actually just said was an oxymoron. You said, when you said, we blaming the women, but then you gave a list where you said, well, these are reasons, but these are actually reasons why
What I said was there are some women who just may be just some
and those are reasons. No, that's a lot. That's a big thing. Everything that you named go into why a lot of these women are single.
But
that's not blaming them. That's bringing up a personality trait that is the reason, and that's the thing.
Wait. But what I'm saying is, I don't mean to cut you off. But what I'm saying is, but what I'm saying is, if it starts from the top, you got to take accountability from the top. When you deal
and the top is the woman.
But no, the top is not the woman.
The top is the woman.
In your relationship with you and your woman, do your woman run the relationship, or do you run the relationship?
When I met her and I approached her, did I make her be with me, or did I approach her and she had to accept me?
I'm talking about
that's the top. That's where it starts at. It starts at a woman's ability to accept a man, and if you accept the wrong man, you fucked up already, regardless before the man does anything.
Not to accept the man.
That's the beginning.
So I'm gonna tie this together.
But wait, let me get my whole point out.
Because some of these women can't accept leadership.
But that's still, again, we're going into in the egg of what I'm trying to say. And you can take it as an attack, you can take it as a critique, you can take it as my motherfucking opinion. At the top of everything, the woman is the one that starts the relationship, because all the dude does is approaches her, and it's up to her to find out enough about this guy to let the relationship go so far. It's up to the woman to, once she accepts that man's proposal to do whatever they finna do, is to keep that man interested.